to Musicians and Beyond.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's very exciting. I understand that you were born out of the country
Yes.
and then you landed in LA. How did this all happen?
Well, so I'm born and raised in Sweden, and I actually came here to study at Musicians Institute in 2018. And I'd been to Los Angeles before, and I'd known about MI for a while. So I just graduated high school, and I said, let's do it.
Wow. So you were a young girl chasing her dreams
Yep,
and
exactly.
you haven't gone home since.
No, exactly. Only to
Wow.
visit. Only
Just
to
a bit.
visit.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
And so you've had music in your bones and in your blood your whole life. Who was your biggest inspiration in getting into music?
Ooh, I mean, I have to say I would credit my parents. My mom, as I was born, she was singing in a gospel choir, that I was rehearsing with them a lot. Hi, Mark. And they were performing a lot around town, around in Stockholm. And I think like my earliest memory, just like general earliest memory, is literally of my mom practicing her harmony for Oh Happy Day in our living room and like dancing with me and wanting me to sing along.
Yeah.
Um, and my dad's always also been a huge music fan. He used to play as well. And even though they're not actively working musicians, they both just we've always had records playing in the house, and they always really encouraged me to sing and to play. So I'd probably say my parents.
Excellent. Excellent. And then
Yeah.
professional wise, who is your biggest influence?
Ooh, I discovered Fleetwood Mac when I was about 16, maybe 15. And I had listened to
Test.
Rumors and Mirage previously, but I just kind of like got really into Fleetwood Mac and Tom Petty and that scene. And that was around the same time that I started my first band with my best friends in Stockholm. And we started gigging, and just kind of from there, like I just started listening a lot to Stevie Nicks, a lot to Bonnie Raitt, Allman Brothers. Later on, discovered Susan Tedeschi and Tedeschi Trucks Brothers band, and I just fell in love with it.
You have a lot of projects. You're involved in a couple different bands and groups and so forth. Can you tell us a little bit about each and every one of them and maybe who is in those bands?
Yes, of course. So I primarily started doing session work, session vocals. Hence why I'm in so many different projects. I only went solo, or did my launch my solo career, as one would say, earlier this year. So one of the main bands that I sing with right now, it's called Harry Cats and the Pistachios, led by Harry Cats. It is such a good time. It's a 12 piece. It's rock and soul based in Los Angeles. And every gig with them is just a hoot. We're in costume. We got the sunnies, the whole vibe, choreo, everything. Um, so that's been a lot of fun. We just put out a new single called Bad Dream, um, which I'm singing on. If you haven't checked it out. And that's been a band that I've been working quite a lot with over the past couple months. I also I sing with a little bit of everyone, like independent artist. I started singing for a lot of pop artists when I first started out, including Julian DeVizio from Australia, Lee Brown from the UK. Um, but now my focus has been shifting a little bit more to my solo stuff recently.
Mhm.
What brought that about, Lynn? That made you decide to step away and step in front of the microphone, your own microphone, at the front of the stage?
It was kind of this organic kind of I just had written a bunch of songs that I didn't really know what to do with. And I've been thinking about doing something myself for a while, but it just had never really felt like the right timing. And then I met my producer, Tom Chandler, and we just instantly hit it off because I was working on a different project with him. And just through the scene, we got to know each other. And, you know, we just became such good friends. And I heard his work, and he's incredible. So I was just like, let's try to, book a session and work on a song together. Like I have this early demo, like I brought it into the studio with him, and we just got into such a flow. So what turned from just one single, we pretty much wrapped that single up within 2 weeks, mix and mastered, and about a month later we had a full EP.
Wow.
And out of that collaboration just came this amazing friendship, and just we kind of built our team from there, including Daniel Jakubowicz, who's my co-producer. And we now the three of us we write together, and we're currently in the studio working on some new stuff.
And do you like the
Thank you.
studio, being a studio musician, or would you rather be out in front of the crowd playing and gigging with them?
I have to say, I feel like doing both, you really get the best of both worlds. I love just kind of like getting into the nitty-gritty of just vocal arrangements and vocal harmony, and just kind of like, I mean, even the four-part writing of it, and just I'm such a theory nerd. Um, I really enjoy that process, and just kind of like the creative aspect of arranging, even if I'm not particularly in the writing process all the time. A lot of times I just come in simply to do background vocals. But being able to do live work as well for myself and for other people, it really kind of brings just all the best of both worlds. Like it really never gets less interesting, or you encounter so many different experiences within doing vocal work. And really, I like getting the best of both worlds.
Mhm. So being a
Yeah.
studio musician, you've probably met a million different people and sang on their albums. Are there
Yeah.
any bigger name musicians out there that you're part of their project?
Well, so there is one gig that I'm a part of called Ultimate Jam Night. It's a biweekly residency at the Whiskey A Go Go, and the concept is that it's an all-star celebrity jam night. So different people from different bands from all over the world come together and play together. And it's a really cool gig to be a part of because it's all these people. It's completely unrehearsed. Like it's all planned, but there's no rehearsals. There's no, a lot of people meet for the first time on stage. And there's been a lot of cool people that's been a part of it. Orianti was doing it a couple months ago. It's led by Chuck Wright from Quiet Riot, and it's a really cool gig, just meeting new people and playing with new people of all genres, and that's been a really, really kind of focal point
Right. And
to
to
be a
be
part
able
of.
to play at the Whiskey Go Go is iconic in itself because that place is rock and roll heaven.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It was really cool. We at that gig, God, I can't remember. Time flies. A couple months ago, Robert Krieger from The Doors came out to play with us, and that was such an honor at the Whiskey
Wow.
too. That
That
was that was a really cool night.
that's an all-star jam right there.
Exactly, exactly. That had me goosebumps, gave me goosebumps. And I feel like sometimes the pace of everything with this line of work, and just kind of how you wake up one morning thinking you're waking up to this day or this schedule, and then it all shifts 360 within a minute. So a lot of times, like, it takes me a while to reflect on everything a little bit, and it's cool to be able to get to do it for a living.
And quick question, when did you decide you wanted to go to LA and what brought that about?
I originally came to Los Angeles to study in 2018, to study vocals at Musicians Institute. And I've been to Los Angeles a couple times before. So I've always liked Los Angeles. A lot of the music that I was inspired by had some connection to Los Angeles, whether it was from here or just that the albums were recorded here. So I was kind of like very interested in scene out here. But then also, am I offered a program that I just stoked about. So I got accepted right after high school, and I was 18 and just moved out to Hollywood. Pretty scary, but
Yeah. Did you leave all your family behind and come over just by
yeah,
yourself? Yeah, that is scary.
yep. My sister and my dad flew out with me and stayed with me for 2 weeks, but they're all back in Sweden.
That end of 2 weeks must have been, really hard.
I not gonna lie, I cried like a baby.
Yeah, it's grown. So you have a bunch of singles that are out and available, and people can find you on all major platforms. You can go to
Indeed.
Spotify and Apple and all of those and support you and download. And you can find
Yeah.
her at linnhomestead.com there and check it out. But let's talk about your song Cut Me.
Yes.
So we are going to play it right now for our listeners.
It's been a long time, but nowhere near enough. Broken bones are healing, just nowhere fast enough. And now I fade a little worthless pipe dreams. What you said, watch them burn. And if you still think you got so much more to say, well, go on then, tie me to the pole. Why don't you cut me, baby? Cut me to see if I can bleed. Why don't you hurt me, baby? Hurt me to see me on my knees. Why don't you finish me, please? Oh, I come back crawling just about every time. Oh, it's a fool's game, predefined. Oh, the tides are turning now, and I call the shots. So I made up my mind. Now watch me curse the higher ground. And all those things you always said you taught me. Won't you sit back, watch, and learn? Now if you still think you got so much more to say, well, go on then, bless my broken bones. Why don't you cut me, baby? Cut me to see if I can bleed. Why don't you hurt me, baby? Hurt me
us about that.
So Cut Me was the first song that I brought into the studio with Tom, and it really I wrote it sitting literally by this keyboard that I'm sitting next to right now. Um, I'd just been going through a little bit of a funk, and I was about to graduate college, was kind of like finding my footing a little bit, and been going through some bigger life changes. And I originally wrote it just kind of as a reminder to myself, whenever I needed it, to just remind myself about resilience, and that, a lot of times we're stronger than we seem, or stronger than we feel in the moment. And I I kind of wrote it, and I recorded a little demo on it, just in Logic, a simple vocal and keys, and just kind of left it for, it was probably 7 or 8 months. And then when me and Tom started talking, I was like, I feel like we could do something with this. Like, it's like a pretty straightforward song. Like, I know kind of what I want to do with it. And I'd recently been going through some health issues at that time, and it just kind of naturally came to my mind. Just kind of, I really needed that reminder about just resilience and keeping your head up and just to keep going. And we started working on it, and it just sort of became this like personal anthem for myself, just some motivation, and so just organically, it almost became like this stamp of, you know, resilience and strength, and kind of doing this whole going solo, and all of it kind of intertwined in a weird way. So we decided to put it out as the first single, and it just went really fast, but it was really fun, and it was scary, but I'm it lies really close to my heart.
Yeah, life can be scary. And you wrote that from
Yeah.
a personal experience, which is
Yes.
amazing that you're able to, put that out there and let people know that you're a real person and have your feelings shown. But also, other people probably really connect with that song because other people are probably going through things too.
That's what I really hope that, if there's one person in the world who listens to the song and the lyrics, and it makes their day or their struggle just 1% better, I would be thrilled to have contributed to that 1%, even if it's
Excellent.
just a teeny tiny bit.
That's good. I mean, if you can help one person, but I'm sure that, there's a lot of mental health crisis in the world right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a great song to help people reflect on life and how short it is and how fragile it is. So thank you very much for bringing that to the
you.
world. You have been in a bunch of magazines. You've had a
Mm-hmm.
Billboard article, which is huge. You've
Yeah.
been in some LA and Hollywood magazines.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I mean, tell us about how those come to fruition.
Oh my God, it's felt a little surreal. No, me and the team just, when we started releasing the music, we just kept pitching the songs and the record or the EP, just as much as we could, as sent as many emails as we physically possibly could. And I was thrilled to see that, that we got such a great response. And it felt a little unreal to see that email, to see that link come through. But no, it's been really cool to see. And we've done everything DIY, and it just happened. Well, right now we're primarily focusing on some exciting studio work, which I will tell you all more about soon. But I would absolutely love to be able to tour with the EP. I've played some gigs here and there with it. We recently did a show at the Peppermint Club in West Hollywood.
Yeah, I saw.
Which was so much fun, and it was the first time actually doing my solo work with a full band. And it was amazing, and I would love to get to tour with EP. That would be that would be fun. That would be such a joy.
Do you have a favorite location, a favorite venue that you like to play at?
Ooh, I mean, Whiskey A Go Go Live's really close to my heart. That's, it's really a beautiful venue. But I played my first show at the Paramount with Harry Katz not too long ago. And I had actually never been to that venue before, but it was such a cool venue. And no, like the way the stage is outlined and everything. No, there's so many just like cool spots around Los Angeles. God, no, it's so like, I mean, where I grew up, we don't have venues. We don't have any music venues like that at all. And just like I don't know, there's all kinds of amazing venues out here that just I keep just stumbling on, either going to other people's shows or being a part of them. But no, the Baked Potato, love the Baked Potato. If you guys have been
I
in Studio
haven't,
City.
I haven't heard of that one.
Oh, it's a jazz club out in Studio City in the Valley, and it's just phenomenal. It's very the room is it's a pretty tight room, but just amazing musicians and just the coolest crowd, just the coolest environment. Also, they serve baked potatoes that are huge and amazing. But no, just literally you can go there any night of the week and just see the craziest musicianship. It's just a really cool vibe.
Nice. And would you rather play in front of a small, intimate crowd or a big venue?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I would probably prefer a small, intimate crowd. I mean, I would probably be a lot more nervous. In general, I feel like the closer, the more intimate, the scarier. But also the more real in a way. I don't know, or maybe the more personal it feels. Yeah, no, I've done a couple acoustic shows lately that, felt really up close and personal, and that was really cool.
So you still
And
do get the pre-show jitters.
I do. Not as much doing session work or playing with other people, but definitely from my own shows.
Hmm. And do
I
you have a
do get a
ritual?
little.
Do you have a ritual before a show to kind of calm that down?
I do. I've had this thing since I first started gigging when I was, well, with my own band when I was like 15, 16. I always, by no fault, listen to Stevie Nicks' Edge of 17 and just play it back to back in my head. I put on a little bit of Fleetwood Mac's 97, The Dance live album, and that's me getting ready for it. That's my pre-show ritual. Just puts me in the headspace.
There's another song I want to talk about. Let's take a minute and listen to "Cruising with You." Ready, Mark? Linn
I'm ready.
Holmes.
I don't wanna sit here wasting time. I'm getting kinda restless, wondering why. Time just tries its way up, passing by. So let's get down to business. Are you mine? just what I see. The eyes looking back at me. I just wanna be cruising with you. All I wanna be is cruising with you. All I wanna be cruising with you. All I wanna be, all I wanna be is cruising with you. I just wanna be cruising with you. All I wanna be is cruising with you. All I wanna be is cruising with you. All I wanna be, all I wanna be is cruising with you.
All right, Mark, what do you think of that one?
Outstanding. You can see why we have her on the show with music like that.
So Lynn, tell us a little bit about that one.
Oh, Cruising with You. It was another one of those songs that we'd been sitting on for a while, before actually bringing it into the studio and recording it. It all started, I kind of had this top line actually a couple years ago. Um, just kind of the chorus and the basic outline for the verses. And me and my best friend Marcus Lundquist, slide guitar player, songwriter, we had a project together called Swedish High Coast Ensemble that we were writing songs for. It was our band that we had, and him and I would always just frequently write together and just bounce different ideas back and forth, and we were kind of jamming it out, jamming on that top line a little bit and just kind of writing the chords under it and outlining it. And the years went by, and as we put out the EP earlier this year, I just kind of found the voice memo on my phone from when me and Marcus were playing it. And I brought it into Tom and I said, I think we could do something with this. And we started kind of like listening to it and was like, yeah, this could be cool to like revamp and rearrange and do something with. So that's basically what we did. Um, the vocals were recorded pretty much one take with me in a little hoodie on the couch, and Daniel Jakubowicz went in and arranged it too, and then we just kind of wrapped it up in 2 weeks and put it out, and it was really fun.
Lynn, is it diff take a song that you've performed with somebody else and wrote with somebody else and then work with someone else and have it change in that way and change the arrangement? Is it hard to get out of that old vibe or feel for it and then move into this?
I a little bit, like, I definitely find myself just I kind of default a little bit in general to just my default progressions or my default hits or my default just, I guess, techniques that I like to use. But that's what's been so great working with all these amazing people. Everyone has like a different artistic point of view, and we all kind of co-wrote this new version together, and it definitely that it was hard, but it was really, really a cool process to be a part of.
Yeah, I imagine the evolution's the cool part where you watch it grow,
Yeah.
but it's got to be somewhat hard to leave that nostalgic piece and walk away from your original body of work.
Yeah. No, definitely. Definitely. It's hard to not personally, I find, get stuck creatively. But it's been so great working with Tom because he really he knows how to, I feel like our artistic kind of defaults and our artistic kind of techniques just kind of they blend together so well, but his ideas are always just amazing. And I'll be like, no, let's try this line instead, or let's do this phrase. And then it just boom, that's it. Like, yeah, that's perfect. So it wasn't too hard, but it was really cool to see it grow.
So for our listeners of Musicians and Beyond, make sure you go on the internet and go to all our social medias, follow her, support her, listen to her music, download it, and find out where she's going to be playing, usually around LA. Thank you for spending your time and coming on and chatting with us. And we wish you the best of luck in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you, Lynn, for coming in and being our friend here. We like to thank everyone that comes in, either into the studio on Zoom, becomes a friend of ours. We'll be following you as a friend, and we'll be watching your career flourish. And we're looking forward to seeing what you do next. And we want to hear what's going on in the studio. So when you're ready to release that, please let us know.
Yes, and thank you so much for having me on. I'm so stoked. This is really, really cool. Thank you.
Peace out.
Take care. Bye, John.
Bye.
Bye, Mark.